Special shout out to my patrons. Thanks for supporting me. If you want to join up, I'll leave a link in the description. Yo, what's up guys? I've got a juicy haul today because SloppySecondSales sent me, that's a lot of S sounds, a sweet package of movies. They sent me 5 movies to review, and they're all hard to find, out of print stuff. Some stuff that's basically becoming lost media at this point, and I'm really excited about that because a lot of these things deserve better releases, but they don't have them yet. And so luckily there's people like SloppySecondSales that are doing God's work and bringing these to some form of physical media that you can own. But yeah, I got 2 DVDs here and 3 Blu-rays. First up, I've talked about this. I mentioned I was getting it because I plan to see if I can do watch-alongs of this to keep my like obscure 90s television walk-alongs alive, watch-alongs alive. That is Freaky Links. This is a show from the 90s, like I think it was 2000s. It was a X-Files ripoff with Ethan Embry. You can see him right there. And it's basically about a dude who has like a website where he looks up weird shit and I guess goes and investigates it. I remember the show, but it's been so long I've essentially forgotten everything about it. So yeah, it'll be fun to see if we can get away with watching these. It only got the 1 season. I think it's like probably like 10 or so episodes. I checked this out. It looks good. It looks like, you know, I mean, it's standard definition 4:3 aspect ratio, like 90s television quality. But as far as that goes, it's pretty good for that quality. And this is one of the DVDs, so it wouldn't look any better on a Blu-ray. Because the way things are going, I doubt this is ever gonna see any kind of release. This is one of the many like 1 season shows that just kind of fell into obscurity. Maybe it has a cult following. Somebody liked it because it's got a release from SloppySecondSales, and I'm happy because I've always been interested in going back and watching this show and seeing if there was anything to it, and now I can. All right, next we've got The Runestone from 1991. This is a pretty hard to find movie that I have never seen, but I do know that it's got cool practical effects. It's a guy in a rubber monster suit, which you know I love. It's got sweet ass cover art. Simple, just a claw coming out at you. The Runestone. Some legends must be destroyed. See if there's anybody notable in this. Not really any names that I'm familiar with, but I've heard good things and I'm excited to check it out. So now I can. Now we're getting into the Blu-rays. The first one is something I think we all know about. It is Freaked. This is, of course, the Alex Winters directed, I believe. I'm pretty sure he directed it and starred in it. Like, crazy practical effects heavy movie that you hear a lot of people bring up a lot, but it still hasn't gotten a release. I'm not sure. I just dropped it. I'm not sure why it hasn't. I'm sure it's got some kind of rights issues going on with music or something. That's usually the culprit behind these things. Or maybe nobody thinks the interest is there, which, I mean, it is, right? I mean, you can go out and find like people charging $50 and up just for a DVD copy of this. But yeah, it's also got Randy Quaid in it, Morgan Fairchild, Bobcat Goldthwait, Brooke Shields, and of course Mr. T as the bearded lady. So excited to finally own this. And these last 2 I'm super excited about. First up, not impossible to get, but still very out of print and not a lot of options for it. This is the first season of The Adventures of Pete and Pete with all the shorts and the first season. This one's got custom cover art, which you have to appreciate. And he does the little like Mill Creek style retro VHS cover. That's cool. Also, I wanted to point out he does have on all his discs like a cool black metal style SloppySecondSales logo, which I also appreciate. But yeah, again, not impossible to get through certain means, but for the price, this is definitely a great option. I did check it out. It looks great. I will say the one thing I noticed is that it's all one block. There's not a menu screen to select scenes. It is divided up into scenes that seem to run every 5 minutes. That would be my one gripe. Not a huge one, not a deal breaker, especially for the price, because if you try to get this other places, you'll be paying more for it per season. And hopefully they do season 2 and 3 for that similar price, because I love this show. It's probably my favorite thing to come out of Nickelodeon in my childhood. I think it's bogus if you look into like how limited the first 2 seasons were released and how they actually pressed the discs for the 3rd season. The show creators said that they saw like a pallet full of the completely packaged, cased up discs ready to sell, and there was a merger between Paramount and some other company, and they just never released it. And if any show from the 90s that came out of Nickelodeon deserves a physical media release, it's the entire series of this. But until then, I've got this first season right here, so I'm pretty happy with that. And last, the big finale. This one I'm really excited about because I can never find this movie. I've heard people say like it's easy to get. I think maybe there's like a German media book or something, but I've never been able to find it at a reasonable price that I didn't feel like was a risk. It is Necronomicon. This is a Brian Usna flick, so you know it's a banger. It stars Jeffrey Combs again, so you know it's a banger. And again, it's one I haven't been able to track down. It's from '93. It's H.P. Lovecraft. It's Brian Usna. It's Jeffrey Combs. It's a sure thing. This also has Richard Lynch in it, which is cool. I haven't seen it yet. Like I said, I can never find it. It is an anthology. This is one that more than likely eventually I'm gonna review on its own on the channel, because I mean, again, it just almost seems like a sure thing that I'm gonna love. Could be wrong, you never know, but more than likely it's a pretty safe bet for me. Sweet cover art. This is one of the definitely most well packaged ones in the bunch, and yeah, I can't wait to watch it. Again, I'm probably eventually gonna review this on the channel for sure. So yeah, Necronomicon. And that is the haul. Pretty cool in my opinion. The thing I'll say about SloppySecondSales is their price. I've checked all these out, just kind of watching them to see like if they look good and everything, and they do. But for a lot of releases like these, people are charging way too much for my blood, to the point where I very rarely ever fuck with them. And the prices that Sloppy Second has going are choice. Most of them are like $9.99. You really can't beat that, especially for stuff like, I mean, a whole season of Pete and Pete for $10, Freaked for $10. I mean, that's a great price, and I hope it stays that way. I hope they release more juicy shit like the rest of the seasons of Pete and Pete. But yeah, I'll put a link in the description. Go check them out if you're interested. And that's about it. So thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed it. And until next time.